My screen is visible, na, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, first thing, science. First, let us get acquainted with the question paper. First and foremost, science paper when you get, you should be able to read the whatever information is given or whatever points are given before the paper. That is, in the question paper, whatever things are given, you should be reading it specifically for MCQ. Because each year they give a different way of writing the answers for MCQ. For example, most of the time it is you have to write only the uh, you have to write only the uh, this option, that is A, B, C. You should not be writing the fill in the blank or rewriting the question or writing the answer, nothing. Just question number one and what is the correct option, whether it is A, B, or C. Okay, because for top cases specifically, they deduct marks if you do not go by the instructions what was given in the question paper. So please read the question paper properly, and also question number 1A and 1B, you are not supposed to do any cancellation because the first attempt will be given the credit. Even though your first attempt is wrong, that will be taken as your final answer. Okay? But still, human error. Supposing you make some mistake, see that you cancel the whole line and go to the next line and write the answer. So please read the instructions before starting the question paper. Now, when you see the question paper, Science 1 and Science 2 have got basically four main questions. In question number 1A, there will be five questions of 1 mark each, and these questions will be textbook based questions. When we go further, I'll tell you how you're supposed to learn science. Before that, just let us get accustomed to the question paper. So, first day question contains five questions of 1 mark each, and this is all textbook based question. Now, basically, science, you should not be learning any answers by heart. Understand the topic, understand the concept, and write the points and keep in your notebook so that you'll be able to answer any questions asked on that. So, science is such a subject, you can make n number of questions from one paragraph of the textbook. So, textbook should be your main resource material. So, 1A question, that is the MCQ question, will be purely textbook based questions. That is, anywhere in between the textbook, the questions can be asked. And there's no option in this question, full five you will have to attempt. 1B is again five questions of 1 mark each. In this, all type of questions can come. Name the following. The except fill in the blanks, all the other objective type of questions can come. That is, state true or false, match the column, or draw a electron dot diagram, for example, in the carbon compounds, or any such write chemical formulae of certain things. Anything can be asked in this. So 1A and 1B are objective type of questions. 2A question is give reason. In this, it is 2 mark question. You have to attempt any two. Okay. Now, three questions will be given. From that, any two you have to attempt. So it is 4 mark question with option. It is 6 marks. And from those three questions, one question will be compulsorily from chemistry, one from physics and science one, and one can be either chemistry or physics. Similarly, for science 2, it can be one from bio, one from this EVS, and one can be of both. Okay. Now, question number 2B, again, five questions of 2 marks each will be there, and you have to attempt any three. So, 6 mark question with option, it is 10 marks. Minimum two questions will be from the chemistry topics and two from physics topic, and one can be from either chemistry or physics. Similarly, question number three is eight questions of 3 marks each. You have to attempt any five. Four questions will be of chemistry, four from physics, and one can be of chemistry or physics. It's carrying 15 marks. With option, it is 24. Okay, and the last question, question number four, is two questions of 5 mark. You have to attempt any one from chemistry and one from physics. It is carrying 5 marks. With option, it is 10 marks. So your total paper is of 40 marks, and with option, it is 60 marks. Now, 1A question, the multiple choice questions, and 1B is 1 mark question. In that, find the odd man out can come. In this odd man out, 4 to 5 components can be there, and you have to choose one odd man out with some rational thinking. Okay. Second is correlation. The question will be on some scientific concept, and you have to find the correlation between the two. Match the pairs can come, or match the column can come. True or false can come. Unless you are asked to give reason for it, don't give, just state. You can rewrite the statement and write whether it is true or false. Then give the names or molecular formulas. Even this type of question can come. Fill in the blanks will not be expected in this question. Okay. So 2A will be scientific reasoning. Even that can come from the textbook in between anywhere. And 2B will be 5 questions of 2 marks, attempting any tree. Here you can get numerical problems or laws, definition, principles. Now remember, when you're writing the law, definition, principles, you have to make use of the same wordings which is given in the textbook. Okay, then short notes can be asked on any concept. You can be asked to write a short note on that. Then the chemical reaction with equation, it can come as what happens when, or you will be just given an incomplete chemical reaction or an unbalanced chemical reaction. You have to complete it and balance it. Okay, and also the flow chart can be given, incomplete flow chart can be given, and 4 to 5 blank spaces can be given in the flow chart, and you have to complete it. Redraw the flow chart and complete the flow chart. Okay, then differentiate between can be asked. Minimum 4 points of differences you have to write between the two components, and example is not considered as a point of difference between the two. Then write properties or characteristics, uses, advantages, or effects of something. This type of questions also can be asked. In such type of questions, minimum 4 statements are expected. 4 properties, 4 characteristics, 4 uses, etc. Then it can also question can be asked on give examples. It is necessary to give at least 4 examples based on the concept. The student can give examples from day to day life. It's not necessary that you have to give the example only what is given in the textbook. You can take day to day life example, but then it should be coinciding with the concept which is asked. Okay. Then question number three, 3 mark question. You have to attempt any five. There these type of questions can come. A statement can be given, and you have to write. You have to prove that statement by explaining. So to give that explanation of the statement, minimum 6 statements should be given, or you can be asked to suggest the remedies or measures for certain problems or certain effects related to daily life. For example, in science 2, you have got the social life chapter where you can be given any daily life example, and you are asked to write what are the remedies for it. Okay. Then explanation of diagram. A diagram can be given, and it will be unlabeled, or you will have to label it, or you have to explain, identify what diagram it is and explain. For example, in science one, you can be asked the diagram of a generator or a electric motor. You will be asked to identify what it is and then explain that in detail. Okay. Then you can be asked, you given a table or a chart, and you will be told to complete that table or chart. An incomplete table will be given, and you have to complete it and give information based on it, or explain with the help of example. Certain chemical reaction can be asked, and you have to give examples, or any other concept can be asked and you have to give examples. Now, question number four. Here also, question number three, high order type of numericals can be asked, where more of this working is there. In science one, that type of problems can come for 3 mark question, or complete the diagram, like an electric circuit can be given or a food chain can be given, and you have to give the explanation after completing the diagram. Okay. Or diagram based questions can be asked. You can be given a diagram and you are asked questions based on that. Write answers with explanation. Direct questions can be asked, which is the long type of question where you have to give your explanation, or write the laws, theories, and explain with examples. Or else a paragraph can be given with a minimum of 6 blanks, and 7 to 8 options will be given in the bracket, and you have to complete the paragraph. Such type of question, you have to rewrite the paragraph and accordingly fill the blanks which are given. Then question number four will be 5 mark question. Any one you have to attempt. It can be either draw a figure and give explanation, which is a detailed type of question, or an incorrect diagram can be given. You will have to correct that diagram and then explain that diagram, or classify with detailed explanation can be asked. For example, you have got the classification of animals, where you can be asked any of the class, you will be asked to classify and explain about that particular class. Okay. Or else read a given paragraph and answer the question. Minimum 5 questions will be asked, and these questions will be hot question, that means high order type of thinking question. Now, it is not that you will just pick up the answer of one line from the paragraph. Might be, it might be having certain points which are asked, or certain concept which are asked. You have to explain more than what is given in the paragraph. So read the question and accordingly answer. Or you can be given a big table or a chart which is incomplete. You will have to complete that table or chart, or answer the question in detail. You can be given an activity or an experiment to verify. You will have to verify that statement with an experiment, or you can explain that, or you'll be asked to draw a concept diagram depending upon some technology or a component. Now, concept diagram, you might be remembering that ninth standard textbook, in the science textbook, after each chapter you had a concept diagram. So that is what is required when you are studying science. Each chapter, try to make your own concept diagram. It's not necessary that you should be drawing a tree diagram or anything. You can just write what are the sub topics in that particular chapter, and each of this topic, what are the subtopics, what are the points you should be remembering. Just write it down in points and keep in your notebook, and go on rereading that points. You will see that you will remember the concept very well, and any question asked on a particular concept, you will be able to answer. Now, overall, the distribution of marks and the type of questions, you find that there are very short answer type of questions which carries about 10 marks. With option, it is around 16 marks. Short answer type of question, it is carrying 15 marks. With option, it is 24 marks. And long answer type of questions, it is carrying 5 marks. With option, it is 10 marks. Okay. So again 40 without option and 60 with option. Now just trying to see the chapter wise topic in science 1 and the weightage of those chapter. The first chapter in science, that is gravitation, which is a physics chapter, is carrying 3 marks, and with option, the weightage is 5 marks. The second chapter, periodic classification, is a chemistry chapter. It is carrying 4 marks, with option 6 marks. Chemical reaction and equation, it's a chemistry chapter, 4 marks, with option it is 6 marks. Effect of electric current, physics, it is carrying 5 marks, with option 7 marks. Heat chapter, physics, it's carrying 3 marks, with option it is 5 marks. Refraction of light, physics, 5 marks, with option it is 7 marks. Lenses, physics, without option it is 4 marks, and with option 6 marks. Metallurgy, chemistry, 4 marks, with option 6 marks. Carbon compounds, 5 marks, with option 7 marks. And space mission, 3 marks, and with option 5 marks. This is the weightage of each chapters of science 1. Similarly, for science 2, hereditary and evolution, 3 marks, with option it is 5 marks. Life process 1, 4 marks, with option it is 6 marks. Life process 2, 5 marks, with option it is 7 marks. Environmental management, 5 marks, with option it is 7 marks. Towards green energy, 4 marks, with option it is 6 marks. Animal classification, 4 marks, with option it is 6 marks. Introduction to microbiology, 4 marks, with option it is 6 marks. Cell biology is 4 marks, with option 6. Social health, 4 marks, with option 6. And disaster management, 3 marks, with option 5. So these are the weightages of the chapters of Science 1 and Science 2. Now this is about your practicals, which already your teachers will be telling. That is, you have got project topics are also given, only one project a year in part 1 and part 2. So you have got 12 marks for your experiment and 4 marks for your project. So this is the practicals that already this teachers will be telling. The methodology of the experiment is carrying 6 marks, 3 plus 3, that is science 1 and science 2. And observation is carrying 2 plus 2, science 1, science 2, that is 4 marks. And conclusion is carrying 1 mark, so 2 marks. So like that, that is 12 marks. Okay. And you have marks for your journal also. Now, certain application type of question, that is, I told you hot type of question, high order type of thinking. For certain examples are given here. You are given the Dobrynin's triad, that is lithium, sodium, potassium. The atomic numbers are given of lithium and potassium. You have to find the atomic mass of sodium. So you will be finding it and then explaining how you got that 23. Okay, and explaining because of the Dobrynin's triad method, you got it as 23, right? You can be also given a equation like AgNO3 plus NaCl giving you AgCl plus NaNO3. Questions can be asked on this equation. For example, like identify and write the type of chemical reaction. It's a double displacement reaction. Write the definition of the above reaction. Double displacement reaction, you have to write the reaction in which ions in the reactants are exchanged to form a precipitate is called as the double displacement reaction. And write the names of the reactants and the products. There you will be writing it as silver nitrate and sodium chloride are the reactants, and silver chloride and sodium nitrate are the products. Okay. Now here, out of sodium and sulfur, which is a metal, you know sodium is a metal, and explain its reaction with oxygen. Sodium reacts with oxygen to form sodium oxide. Okay. Or any ray diagram can be given and questions can be asked on with the write the position of the object or the position of the image, size of the image, nature of the image, etc. Okay. And then page 104, there is that extraction of aluminum, the electrolytic reduction. That diagram can be asked, and this is a very possible question which can be asked in science one. What is the cathode and the anode used in this experiment? Okay, that is the graphite lining of steel tank acts as the cathode, and the graphite rod dipped in it acts as the anode. Okay, so then what is the melting point of the electrolyte used? It is greater than 2000 degrees Celsius. What is added to molten electrolyte to bring down the melting point? You add cryolite and fluorspar to bring down the melting point to 1000 degrees. Write the anode and cathode reaction, that is there in page 104. So you might have come to know now certain diagrams which are important. Those diagrams can be given and questions can be framed based on those diagrams. Or the electric motor diagram can be given. You can be asked on which principle does this equipment work. It works on the magnetic effect of electric current. According to which law that coil ABCD rotates, it rotates by Fleming's left hand rule. Write the law in your own words. Where is this equipment used? It is used in fans, ship propulsion, etc., motors, refrigerators, etc. Okay. Now, or in science 2, page number 26, the parts of the flower diagram can be asked and questions can be asked on that. Which structure of the flower form the male reproductive part? That is the androecium consisting of the stamen, anthers and the filament form the male reproductive part. Which structure of the flower form the female reproductive part? That is a gynoecium containing carpel consisting of ovary, style, stigma form the female reproductive part. Which is the protective whorl of the flower? Sepals forming the calyx is the protective whorl of the flower. Now, here, page number 27 also, figure 3.14, your diagram, you have to explain the process in detail. Or page 15, figure on that aerobic and anaerobic respiration flow chart. This is very important. The blanks can be given in the flow chart and you will have to complete it. Or page number 14, the diagram of mitochondria can be given and if you can be asked or mention the cell organelles shown in the diagram, which energy rich molecules are synthesized during the Krebs cycle, that is ATP, NADH2 and FADH2 are synthesized. Identify the compound X, which is the product of glycolysis that is utilized in the Krebs cycle, that is the pyruvic acid. Okay. Then this male reproductive system and the female reproductive system, very important. Any of the diagram can be given and you can be either asked to correct the diagram and relabel it, or the diagram can be given and you can be asked questions based on it. Similarly, you can be given like that table where it is incomplete. For example, the cell organ or type and the protein which is released by them. The insulin and trypsin is released by the pancreas. Pituitary glands release the hormones. Actin and myosin is formed in the muscles, bones. They have the protein called as the oasin, or that diagram which is given in the textbook of the different types of protein, that also can be given and blanks can be given. Now, basically how to study smart or how to study smartly science. Focus on the concept. As I said, your textbook should be your main resource material. For example, I can give you one example on the second chapter of Science 1, that is periodic table. Basically, What are the topics in that chapter? First, you have to know the Doberanus triad, you have to know the Newlands octave, you have to know the Mendeleev's periodic law and the structure of the Mendeleev periodic table, the advantages, disadvantages of Mendeleev periodic table, then the Mosley's periodic law, the long form of periodic table, the characteristic of that, then about the groups, different groups, about the different periods, and the tendencies of the properties across the period or the group. That is the valency, metallic property, size of the atom, etc. So, all these in that topics, what you have to remember, write down the points and keep. Keep a separate notebook for that. Each chapter, make such type of concept map and go on reading this every day. You will find that unknowingly you are remembering all the concepts. Now, if you remember when you were small, how did you learn your tables? Your mommy used to tell you every day to repeat that tables before sleeping. And unknowingly, you find that you are by heart with the tables. Okay. So the same tactics you will be using over here. Write down and keep and go on reading this off and on. You will find that you are thorough with all the concepts of each chapter and you will be able to answer any type of questions asked on it. So focus on the concepts, focus on numericals, don't read numericals. Try to solve the numericals. And numericals, when you're solving, see that you do it step by step. That is, first you will be writing given, then to find, then write the formula which is to be used, then substitute in your formula, do the working, and the final answer, underline it and rewrite it in a statement. Because even if your final answer is wrong, if your steps are correct, you can get 1.5 marks. And remember all the formulas. Give extra time for revision of derivations in physics. Derivations are like your maths, geometry. So see that you are practicing the derivations properly. Draw complete label diagrams. Diagrams also practice at least twice or thrice actually drawing it and labeling it properly. Learn the IUPAC nomenclature, very important. Chemical formulas or chemical name, chemical equations, when you're writing, see that you're balancing the equation properly and writing the state of the this reactant and the product, that is whether it is a solid, liquid or aqueous, etc. Similarly, as I said, study the textbook well and solve all the activities which are given in the textbook and the box questions. Try to find the answers to that and study that. Write as far as possible in science, write the answers point wise. Point wise, you can write one point, like one line as one point, or one explanation. This can be written as one point. So as far as possible, write the answers point wise. What happens is the examiners are given a model answer paper to correct. So there they tell, especially in give reasons, they tell valid 2 points. If they are writing, the student should be given complete 2 marks. So see that you're pinpointing your points, what you're writing in your answer. And diagrams should be drawn neatly and labeled. While reading the chapters, have a habit of keeping a pen or a marker. This means whatever this you're having, and underline the keywords in the textbook so that when you read the next time, automatically your attention is brought to that point and you come to understand that that is an important point. Okay, and try to make your own concept map for each chapter. Find the answers to all the questions in the box and activities in the textbook. Now, this is according to the instruction given MCQ. If they tell you to write only the question number and the correct option, please write only that. Don't rewrite the question. Okay? True or false, you can rewrite the statement and write whether it is true or false. Write the answer when you're answering. The main thing is the presentation of your paper should be good. A new question should be answered in a new page. Now, supposing you finish your 1B question and half of the page is remaining, leave that half page and start question number 2 on a new page. And another thing, all the sub questions of a particular question should be solved together. For example, in question number 3, you have to solve only 5 questions out of 8. You want to solve around 7 questions of that. You can, by all means, solve all the 8 questions, but you have to solve it together. Not that all extra questions you will be writing towards the end of the paper, it will not be assessed. It has to be written with the main question itself. That doesn't mean that you have to waste time in writing all the extra questions while you're writing the paper itself. You can write the paper, and for extra questions, you can leave place and continue with your paper. After you finish, come back to the place where you are left and complete the extra questions. Now, supposing you don't get time or you don't remember what that answer is, there's no issue. You can just cancel with a pencil the blank space which is left out. But don't write the extra questions all together towards the end of the paper. Okay? And when you write laws, principle, definition, the wording should be same as in the textbook. Distinguish between, you have to write 4 points of differences. Example is not considered as a point of difference. Okay? Give reasons, write in points, both for science 1 and science 2. Now, as I told you, by solving the numericals, write it stepwise, that is given formula, substituting the formula, calculation, and the final answer. Final answer is to be underlined. Okay. Now, this is what I told you. Extra questions also to be attempted along with the main question number itself. Diagrams to be drawn neatly, and diagrams should be drawn within a box. And the labeling also should be done on one side of the diagram. I'll show you further about that example. Label the diagram neatly. Circuit diagram, ray diagram, direction is a must. If direction is not there, the half mark will be deducted. And also, whatever abbreviations are there in the circuit diagram or the ray diagram, you have to write the full form of that. For example, what is F, what is 2F, what is A dash, or what is AB. All these things you have to write below the diagram. If symbols are involved, see that you are explaining the symbol below. That is, in the circuit diagram, you write MA. MA is millimeter. And you write V. V is a voltmeter. All those things write below the diagram. For ray diagrams, all the ray diagrams should have this information below the diagram, that is your position of the object, position of the image, and nature of the image. Okay? Now, this is what I told you. The diagram, when you're drawing, you have to draw within the box. And see that the labeling, as far as possible, should be on the right hand side of the diagram, all the labelings. If there are many labelings, only then make use of the left hand side of the diagram. And all the apparatus what you draw, see that you're making use of a scale and a pencil properly. The thermometer should be drawn properly, the stand, the Bunsen burner, etc. All these things should be drawn very perfectly. Okay, and such type of labelings are not allowed inside the diagram. Draw an arrow and then write what it is. Okay, so this is the wrong way of labeling the diagram. And when you're asked about the defects of the eye, that is the metropia or hypometropia, etc., you have to draw minimum three diagrams of that. That is the diagram of a normal eye, diagram of the eye which is having a defect. For example, this is a myopic eye, and then the diagram of the correction of myopia, making use of a concave lens. Okay, so any diagram which is asked on the defect of the eyes, you have to draw those three diagrams. Similarly, when you're showing the experiment, see that it is shown properly. For example, if there is a delivery tube in the diagram, the delivery tube should not be touching the solution because delivery tube is used for the gas. So it should be in the air. If a thistle funnel is there, the thistle funnel is used to pour the strong acids. So the tip of the thistle funnel should be touching the solution. So all these technical details should be drawn correctly in your diagram. That is why we say diagram has got two marks. One mark is for labeling and one mark is for scientifically correct diagram. These are the things you have to remember when we say scientifically correct diagram. Okay. Now, 1 minute. Mm, I think just a minute or so. I think I have lost some of my. Yeah. Uh, now, another thing I would like to tell is when you're studying this science, the topics which are important, see that you are making a note of it and writing the answers, preferable questions which can be asked on that. You see that you are writing it in a paper and keeping it. Okay. Anything else you all would like to ask? Yes.
ओके स्टुडंट्स काही शंका असतील विचारायच्या विचारून घेऊ शकता.
Ma'am,
Ah,
good evening.
yeah.
Yeah, you told that for MCQ, as if human error, we could make some mistakes. So
Yeah.
if we cut it and if we write it, but still it's not the first attempt, right? So
No,
there'll be no
no,
mark.
no. That's what I told you. You cancel the full line and you can write it in next line. That is okay. But in the same line, if you cancel it again, write, cancel it again, write, then that first answer is considered as your final attempt. You can cancel the full line and then go to the next line and then reattempt it. That can be done. But as far as possible, see that you are not canceling.
Okay, okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Any other?
Is reason necessary for odd man out?
Odd man out, unless they ask a reason, there's no necessity for writing. If they ask the state with reason, similarly true or false also, only if they ask to write the reason, you need to write, otherwise it's okay. Odd man out also, if you just write which is the odd man out, it's okay. Unless it is asked to give a reason.
Okay. Is the weightage of science 1 and 2 for 24-25
Hmm.
given by you, ma'am?
Yeah, it is. No, 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 nothing like that. No, it's the same. Like last year also, we had the same weightage. The chapter wise weightage remains the same.
Hmm.
Ma'am, which book should be referred as like
That's what
answers vary from reference book one
that's
book to
what
other, right?
Yeah,
Textbook.
that's what I told you. In fact, if you see, when we were told to make the question paper, we were not given any other book other than the textbook. And all the 40 marks, we made the this questions from each and every line in the textbook. So that's what I told, your textbook should be your main resource material. So you make that concept map and you be sure of the concepts of that chapter. As I gave you the example of periodic table. After that, to add masala to your points, you can refer to any books, be it a digest, master key, or reliable, anything can do. And last minute revision, I feel 21 set paper is helpful. That is after you have finished all your revision and just one day before you just want to look through. That time you can go through 21 set papers.
And ma'am, use your brain power questions.
Yeah, that also from the textbook you have to be ready with it. That's what I told. All those activity or know your knowledge, all those questions can come in hot questions, high order type of thinking.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, some questions are here. Hmm. Do we have to learn answers to the questions in? Can you recall? Do you
Yeah.
know?
Can you recall also have to be learned? The previous knowledge type of questions also can come in certain objective type of question. That type of questions also can come.
Okay.
And another thing is, especially in science, too, personal response questions are more. That social health chapter is there. So you should see that when such personal response type question come, you're giving a relevant answer. For example, your neighbor is addicted to mobile. So what would you do to correct him? So see that you're giving a relevant scientific answer.
Ma'am, in such answers, one point could be the scientific reason, but what do we write in other 3 points?
Other 3 points, you can say that you will be explaining him the disadvantage of being addicted to mobile and how it affects your eyesight or your brain. This is affected, your thinking power is affected, etc. So you give him the alternative, like instead of being absorbed in the mobile games, you try to make use of that for some other purpose. Okay, try to get some more knowledge out of it or something like that. So it's not that you write any nonsense over there. Some those which is relevant, that type of answers. So personal response question, if you are not sure what answer you should be writing, it's better you leave it and write the other type of questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. You can
Do
attempt it as an extra question, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
uh, do we have learned full periodic table?
Periodic table, there's no need of learning by heart, sir. It's only you have to know each period, each group, the starting element and the ending element. And certain groups, like 1A group, that is alkali metal group, alkali group, alkaline earth metal. Similarly, the halogens, zero group elements. These groups, all the elements you should be knowing. Otherwise it's okay. And certain common elements you should be remembering the atomic number and the placement of that element in that particular period. There's no need of learning by heart the full periodic table. And one thing, if you are thorough with the group and the period, if you are given a element with an atomic number, you'll be able to tell exactly the place in the periodic table. It belongs to which group, which period, you can say. Okay.
Okay. And introduction to scientists, use your brain power, think about it, solve example.
Introduction to scientists is a very rare question which is asked. It can be just asked, might be in name the following or something, or somewhere in that one B question, sometimes they can give a photograph of a scientist and ask you to identify that scientist and his contribution. That is a very rare question, in fact.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ma'am, some questions like rusting of iron, those questions points cannot be distributed, right? So how do we write those answers in points?
It's okay. Where you cannot distribute it in points, write it in paragraph wise. At least give reason, those things see that you're writing in points.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, and that rusting question, that even that diagram which is there, that is important. They can give you that diagram, and based on that diagram, the questions can be asked.
Also, ma'am, sometimes, like if we are referring the points, if the question comes for like you said the attempt any 5 out of 8 questions.
Yeah.
When we have this, so if the answer is like of 3 marks, we are supposed to write half marks, six points almost, right?
Hmm.
But if the points are 4 or 3 only,
Yeah,
then
it's okay. There's no hard and fast rule that each point should be half of marks. Certain answers will contain only three big points also. That's okay. But all the valid points should be coming. And don't restrict to the number of points. See that whatever you know about that topic, you are writing completely. When you're answering a question, you just write in such a way that you feel that the person who is going to read your paper is a layman. That person should understand what you are telling. You try to answer your question paper in that way, you will not miss out any point in your answer.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
ओके, और कुछ कोई? आकांक्षा, दीति?
Also, ma'am, for the Krebs cycle and for glycolysis, the reaction,
Yeah, Krebs cycle.
yeah, the reactions which are given,
Hmm.
is that coming or anytime, like the whole
Yeah,
reaction?
yeah, they do ask the reaction. Even the reaction they can give as blanks, and they can give incomplete reaction, they'll tell you to complete it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and especially that aerobic, anaerobic respiration, that flow chart, that is important. These are certain things in science too, and similarly, sometimes full 5 mark question comes and only draw the structure of the flower and explain. That's a very beautiful question where you can write very nicely, and full 5 marks can come on that. Or else you can also get reproductive, this thing, the male reproductive, female reproductive, and sometimes about the menstrual cycle. That diagram can be given, and you can be asked about the hormones and the different things of the menstrual cycle.
Yeah, but menstrual cycle is little bit more this. So is it like it does it come for making it, or questions are asked on it more?
Questions are asked on it. The diagram will be given and questions are asked on it.
Okay, so mostly that happens. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Ma'am, if the question is like explain the structure of a flower or anything, so do
Hmm.
we have to draw a diagram
Yes,
of the
yes,
structure?
yes, very much. You see, even if they don't say draw the diagram and explain, you have to draw. Even if it is 2 mark question which has a diagram in it, you have to draw label diagram.
Okay, if in and any 2 out of 3 questions we wrote answer of all the questions, will our marks be deducted?
No, no, no. From those three questions, supposing you attempted all the three questions, the first question you got 1 mark, Second question you got 2 marks. Third question you got 2 marks. The first question will be considered as an extra question. Second and third question will be taken. But provided all those extra questions you are attempting along with that main question. Because this is a new rule which they are telling that the extra question should not be attempted towards the end of the paper. That's why I told when you are attempting your paper, after writing 2 questions, leave space for the third extra question what you're going to write. And then once you finish your paper, come back and write all those extra questions. Supposing you're not able to complete certain things, no issues. You just cancel it with a scale and a pencil, the blank space. That's all.
Okay, any more?
Are marks deducted for cuts and scratches?
No, in your answers, no marks are deducted. But as I told you, objectives, that is question number one, A and B, be very careful about it. Answers is
Okay, ma'am.
okay, but as far as possible, see that not much of cancellations are there. Always neatness also counts. It gives an impression to the examiner.
Okay, and what is the weightage of numericals?
Numericals is 2 mark question. It is half mark for each steps and half mark for given, half mark for formula, half mark for your final answer, and the remaining is for your working.
Okay.
As I told you, even if your final answer is wrong, all the other steps are correct, you can get 1.5 marks. On the other hand, everything is correct and you forget to write the unit, half mark will be deducted.
Okay. And do we have to write reasons of odd more net? I think it's.
No, no, yeah, unless they have asked for it, there's no need of writing.
Hmm. Okay, any more students? Okay, I think it's done. All students. थांबूयात विद्यार्थ्यांनो.
Anything, if they're having still any doubt, you can please WhatsApp me, I'll try to solve it
या
anytime.
या ओके ओके हां म्हणजे काही प्रॉब्लेम असेल डाऊट असतील तर व्हॉट्सअपना मॅम तुमच्याशी सांगतील. मला पाठवा मी मॅडमकडून घेऊन तुम्हाला पाठवतो मग. ओके. मला वाटतं थांबूया आपण मैम. हम रुकेंगे अभी मतलब
Okay,
सब हो गया है बच्चों का. तो थैंक यू मैम.
okay.
बहुत अच्छे से डायरेक्शंस मिले हैं बच्चों को.
I, I hope students it was useful for you, whatever I told.
हाँ यस डेफिनेटली एक्चुअली. तो उसके हिसाब से ही स्टूडेंट्स सब लिखेंगे उनका जो भी क्वेश्चन पेपर्स रहेंगे. तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स से ज़्यादा बोलने से अच्छा है सभी स्टूडेंट्स को आउट ऑफ मार्क्स मिलेंगे.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, don't have an impression that after moderation your marks is going to be deducted, please. Because science is a subject where science and maths, if your paper is perfect, we retain full marks. When
yeah,
I
yeah.
was a chief moderator, this mainly the top cases come to us, and you won't believe nearly I had got from the moderators 80 papers which were given full marks. And if we are deducting marks or we are retaining the full marks, we are supposed to give an explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and from those 80 papers, I retained 12 papers with full marks.
Hmm.
That was the perfection of those papers.
Hmm.
So work for it. You don't think that once it goes for moderation, 8 mark का बदले में 2 mark जाएगा. No, there's no rule like that. After that, the chief moderator's hands, when it reaches, if your paper is perfect, the full marks will be retained. So you can get full marks in science and maths.
या सो हमारे सभी स्टूडेंट्स को फुल मार्क्स मिलेंगे ही
Yeah, yeah.
मिलेंगे उतना सो थैंक यू मैम एंड
Yeah.
हम रुकते हैं थँक यू ऑल स्टुडंट्स
Okay.
मला वाटतं उद्याचा जिओग्राफीचा आहे पण कदाचित होणार नाही मी नोटीस पाठवीन तशी थँक्यू थँक्यू मॅम
All the best. All the best.
थँक्यू
Okay, sir. Thank you.